We all have a mind and we all have our divine energy that's all around us. How do I recognize when I'm doing something from the state of the mind? How do I know that this is not my true self? Almost every interaction that you have with the world is going to be through your ego. Every interaction is going to be from the sense of the limited self. Let's take a very simple example. If you think that I am the divine self, I am the unlimited self, I am not this body, I am this oneness, or this oneness is driving, I am not here, and someone asks you a simple question, are you hungry? How will you answer that question? So recognize the value in knowing how to distinguish between the two. That there is a limited self, there is a me that's here in this body, but the me is not a definite me. The wave, when it didn't know about the ocean, it only knew about the wave. It only thought of itself as a wave, completely independent from other waves and completely oblivious to the ocean. When the wave recognizes that it is part of the ocean, then it can dip into that as and when it needs to, all day, every day. It can realize that it is that divine self. But then when you interact with the world, you almost need to interact from the limited self. You need to speak to somebody else as though you are the individual. Because you cannot function without this I am. The world and you engage in that way. But the difference now is that you don't believe this I am. You know the wave is actually the ocean. The wave recognizes that it is the ocean, but it is responding as though it is the wave. So when you wonder whether is this my true self, the me is the one that you have to question. Who is the one asking the question? What is this true self? What is this limited self? And you only know the answer to that not by something that I'm going to say or by some guru or some teacher is going to say. You're only going to know how to answer that question when you're able to see within yourself, what is that limited me? What is the I am? And what does this feel like without the I am? What does it feel like? That's something you have to practice. That's something that you have to know within yourself. You know it because you've read about it. You know it because you've heard it. You know it because you've listened to lectures and you've learned about the subject of the non-dual state. But do you know it from your experience? Do you know it from your own sense of self? What do you feel like when you are in your individual self? What do you feel like when the individual self has started to fade and dissolve? When you know that feeling, you will know the answer to your own questions. What is my true self and what is not my true self? Because if you don't know that, then assume everything is the mind self. Everything is the ego self. You have to know that the feeling of that universal self will be known when you taste it. When you don't taste it, then everything is the ego self, no matter how much you've read about this subject. So it really is sometimes difficult to give you an answer when you're expecting something which is going to be a word or a phrase that's going to just give you the answer. But sometimes you need to go and introspect. You need to go within yourself and understand your own self. And this is what the journey is. This is what meditation is. This is what all of your practice is. Can I let go of myself? Can I see myself? Can I know what it is? When you know what yourself is, you'll know when you are speaking from a sense of ego or when you're speaking from a sense of your true nature.